Hello and welcome to the third film in our Elements of Architecture series. In it, we take a look at the vertical elements that make up a building. Vertical elements are included in cost groups 330 exterior walls and 340 interior walls. Despite the use of the term wall, these two cost groups cover all vertical elements including supports, openings, etc. In keeping with the system used throughout DIN 2761, these two cost groups are further subdivided into Level 6 groups. We have already discussed the function of load-bearing walls. They serve to disperse vertical and horizontal loads. The load-bearing walls are marked on this floor plan. This one shows the non-load-bearing walls of a house. They can be thinner because they don't have to support the weight of the floor above. Since the soundproofing requirements for the rooms on either side of the walls are also relatively low, they can be built using half-brick masonry. Now let's take a look at supports. They are generally load-bearing and have their origins in the tent poles over which the fabric of early tents was stretched. The Greeks developed these poles into columns. Their columns were designed and arranged according to a system of column orders as described in detail by Vitruvius and Alberti. Le Corbusier replaced these heavy columns with slim supports that enabled him to dispense with walls and thus to create his open floor plans and free facades. As we have already discussed, walls need openings. Windows provide views and ventilation, while doors allow people to move freely from one room to another. Even very large doors, like this portal in the Leipzig Provost Church, are included in the openings specified in cost groups 334 and 344. We have already looked at the topic of wall surface finishes in our Walls series of films. DIN 2761's complex subdivision into exterior wall finishes, external cost group 335, and exterior wall finishes, internal KG 336, makes the important distinction between the outer facade of a building and the internal wall finishes on exterior walls. The latter are often identical in structural terms to other interior wall finishes, cost group 345. Facade finishes are frequently highly complex, comprising several layers. Interior wall finishes range from thin mortar, plaster and paint layers to thicker cladding. The term finish is wide-ranging in terms of both complexity and technique. Instead of conventional walls and window openings, the free facades introduced by Le Corbusier comprise only supports and the floor above. The facade itself is suspended in front of the structure and is thus referred to as a curtain facade. One common example of this type of facade is the glass facade, like the one you can see here. DIN 2761 refers to unitized exterior walls. Unitized interior walls include the partition walls found between individual toilet cubicles in large multiple-user bathrooms, for example. The solar protection required on facades forms a separate subcategory of exterior walls. It's generally provided in the form of blinds, awnings, rolling shutters, or projecting sunroofs, also known as overhangs. This image shows a fabric awning on the facade of the Leipzig Provost Church. Summary. Vertical elements such as walls, supports and openings are dealt with in cost groups 330 exterior walls and 340 interior walls. Walls are divided into load-bearing and non-load-bearing walls. Supports are generally designed to be load-bearing and could be used to create open floor plans and free facades. Walls require openings with windows providing views and ventilation, while doors allow people to move from one room to another. Remember to look at the fourth film in our Elements of Architecture series. In it, we look at the elements that cover rooms and connect different floors together.